So I was a pre-med when I joined, and organic chemistry knocked me out of that because I just couldn't imagine myself doing this for a long time. I'd sit down with my molecular model kit and it just didn't feel like this is where I was supposed to be. When I started, I thought I was going to be a doctor. And so I really did come in, I started with biology, the biology and chemistry core, really thinking that was where I was headed. And that lasted sort of a quarter and a half, And after that, it kind of broke wide open because I didn't have a plan B. So once that ended, I really had to sort of look around and start experimenting. You look around and see the bulk of your peers doing something else, something much more maybe done before, whether it's studying to become a doctor or an engineer or whatnot. And part of me would periodically really envy the sort of the predictability of that path, that you've got a bunch of markers and you just, if you go from A, B, C, D, you wind up here. When I graduated, the first job I got was a nanny, which was a job I held in order to be able to pursue music, which is what my real passion was. And so I played piano, I started playing in bands, and I spent my 20s trying to build up a career as a professional musician. And that's essentially about rejection, whether it's submitting a demo tape to someone, trying to get a gig at a place, auditioning for things. It's an incredibly competitive business. Very, very few people make a living at it, and I was one of the people who didn't quite make a living at it. And I went from being in bands to becoming a film composer. When you submit sort of your demo tape to a movie, you're typically one of 300 or 400 composers vying for one job. And there are a relatively modest number of movies in a given year that actually hire composers. So by definition, it's mostly about rejection. And I did a handful of movies. I was turned down for many, many more than I did. So again, same sort of thing where I was basically told no all the time. And I think I got pretty accustomed over those years that no is kind of part of life's transactions. And then I started Pandora in 2000. Which was right when the whole .com bubble collapsed. So set sail into some of the worst years for startups and technology companies in decades. And so I spent again most of my time getting rejected. After raising a little seed capital to get going, I pitched Pandora 350 times to investors and was told no over a number of years. Went without salary for a good period of that, and so again, kind of another, sort of the same thing all over again. But the fact that I've been doing a similar I had a similar acceptance to rejection ratio for the previous 10 years, it was really nothing new for me. I didn't see it as either out of the ordinary or a sign that I shouldn't be doing it or that I wasn't capable. I just thought, hey, these are competitive things. On average, only a small number of companies get funded. You just got to keep at it. The phenomenon of rejection in music is one of the underlying catalysts for inspirations for Pandora, because the point of Pandora is to give exposure to thousands of musicians who don't get access to radio or get publicity. So in some ways, it's kind of the product of that, those tribulations. So yeah, these things just happened, and I just noticed them as they came upon. Even though the chances of each one of those successive career moves the chances of success were very, very low, to me the best thing I could do was do what I really loved to do. With the information that I had in my life at the time, pick the thing I really loved and put my all into it. So I have no regrets about having spent a lot of years struggling and being on the wrong end of no most of the time. Because I think the only thing you can really do at any given moment in your life is pick something you really love to do and that you have some capacity to do and really apply yourself to it.